Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the User Bricks channel. Today we are going over block models for Minecraft. We will be using blockbench. If you have not seen the last video in this blockbench short series, I highly suggest watching it, as a lot of the editing features for that uh, go back into this as well. So, what is blockbench? If you don't know, blockbench is a modeling program for Minecraft, and that you can make block models and entity models or mob models, depending on what you like to call it. Anyway, to download Blockbench, you go to blockbench.net, scroll down a little bit, and click the download for whatever platform you are working on. Now, you can also use the online editor if you can't download it or don't have permission to download it from an admin. So don't worry about that. Okay, so let's get into block modeling. Block modeling is very simple. You can add cubes, move them around. You can change the size of them up here in the corner. And you can also move it around in the front up here as well, up and down, across the x-axis, the z-axis, and you can also just move it around as you saw me do first using the arrows. You can alternatively resize the model using the cubes, and with both of these you can click shift and it'll go quarter of a block stages instead of full block movement, or I should say pixel movement, as each of the normal jumps, or I don't exactly know what to call each of that, is the normal Minecraft 16 by 16 pixel area. And generally for block models, you want to keep them within that 16 by 16 area. Though I do know people who go beyond that. If you're going for something like a door, you can make it be the 2 blocks tall, but I wouldn't suggest it as glitches start happening. Anyway, in the outliner area, you can add groups to put cubes in to organize your models. Yeah, and that's pretty much the outliner section. You can also delete by using the X icon. You can hide or show different cubes. Also, you can change the angle and the origin. The angle changes the rotation based off of the origin that you can set. And unlike the entity model, you don't have to have a group to rotate a cube. You just rotate it. So you can't rotate it on 2 axes. You only can rotate it on 1. So bear that in mind. Yeah. Over here you can inflate it, which just means makes it bigger or smaller with the same UV mapping. UV mapping is what this area over here is. Changing this, let's create a texture real quick and apply it. You can double click on a texture and it gives you all these faces. You can apply it to untextured faces, and then you can go into the paint program and go ahead and paint your model. And as you can see, it works. I'd suggest exporting this into a image editor though, as you can do a lot more with the texture by doing that. Going back to the editing phase, you have all of these in the UV area: north, south, west, east, up, down. Those are the specific sides, and the green, you can tell, if for up and down, you can tell by the green arrow which way it's facing is up and the opposite is down. For north and south, can I remember? Ah, right. For east and west, that's the red axis or the x-axis. I believe that, yeah. That's, the red is the x-axis. And then blue is the z-axis, which is north and south. So, yeah, you can use the rotate tool to rotate it, alternatively to using the angle. And over there, you can also change the origin through the pivot tool. The pivot tool, I don't believe it changes the specific rotation or look of the model. Like if you changed it in the origin area, you can see it's moving, and some people don't like that. I am one of them. The pivot tool is very handy. So, yeah. Okay. You can use the plugins. I showed you plugins in the last episode for mob models. And you can generate different things using this. It's really powerful, actually. You can load an entity, shape. This is octagon or hexagon, and you can have the different settings and create it, and voila, you have a very spherical looking thing. Anyway, that can get rather non-Minecrafty looking, so use that sparingly and try to create the things yourself. Anyway, there's the transform area, which you can scale it, rotate it based off of a certain axis. The colors match the green arrows or lines that you see. You can flip it. You can center it. Individually, or I could have done center all. You can also change the man, why am I blanking on it? The properties. It says it right there. Yeah, you can shading or whatnot. They don't do very many things to change. But the rotate, flip, center, and scale changes the scale. And you can see it got a lot bigger. You can also edit, add cube. This does pretty much what the outliner does over here. So you won't need that. But the most useful section is the file section, where you can create new models, entity models. You can open a recent model. You can open any JSON file model. And excuse my cat, she is choosing to be loud. You can import models. You can export models. This is the most important. Now, if you're in the block modeling and you're exporting for MCreator, don't use the OBJ model, as that can be very iffy and whatnot. The export block model will work every time. If you're doing for Optifine, of course use the Optifine GPM, or I don't use that too often, but if you're doing Optifine, use it. You can also save it, which does, for block models, does pretty much the same thing as exporting a block model. For entities, it would save the entity in a JSON file, so you can edit it later. If you export, well, I won't get into that now, but if you export a entity model, you can't, as a Java model, you can't... Kushi, be quiet. Quiet. Sorry about that. Where was I? Right. Exporting a Java model. You can't re-edit the Java models in blockbench, but you can edit JSON models. So, yeah. That is block modeling in a nutshell. So if you found this helpful, please like. If you even just enjoyed the video, please like. It helps out the channel a lot. If you want to know when the next video for this series or the MCreator series comes out, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. The next video in this series will be about animating block models. Kushi, quiet.